So before I start this video, I'd like to mention that I recently made a Discord server. I appreciate if you guys joined. Also another thing, in this tutorial there'll be a Game Pass and a non-Game Pass option. Free Game Passes, they can boost your Amber gain, and with them boosting your Amber gain is just easier to do. But you can still do this without these Game Passes. Another things, there are variables that change this tutorial by a lot. I'm talking about the fossils and the quest. I have no way of calculating how many fossils and how many quests a player is doing. So the minutes I provide will probably be different from yours, because as I said, while this tutorial you're going to probably be doing fossils and quests. Also another thing, herbivores and carnivores. The reason this tutorial was done with herbivores instead of carnivores is simply because herbivores are just better for grinding. Okay, so the first thing is going to be pachyrhinosaurus. It's going to be a free creature with an amber gain of 20 amber per minute. This is without any of the boosts, but say you have the well-being and territory boost. The first thing, well-being is a must-have, it is crucial. This is going to be giving you about 50% more amber with the max well-being. The territory boost isn't a must-have as it does 10% more, but with the well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 42 amber per minute. Let's say you have the well-being and territory boost and the game passes, you'll be getting about 41 amber per minute. The next thing we'll be going to is Diabloceratops. Diabloceratops is 6,500 amber. You're probably wondering, oh, why not Canthosaurus? The thing is, Cantho and Diablo, they have somewhat similar amber gains, but the difference is they just have very different prices. Also, the thing is, as a pachyrhinosaurus, it would take you about 200 minutes to get to Diabloceratops. This is without the game passes, but with well-being and territory boost. But say you do have the game passes and the well-being and territory boost, you're gonna get to Diabloceratops in about 160 minutes. Once you've gotten to Diabloceratops, you're gonna be getting about 40 amber per minute. This is without any of the boost, but say you have the well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 64 amber per minute. But if you have well-being, territory boost, and all the game passes that do increase your amber, you'll be getting about 83 amber per minute. Once you have the max boost for amber, your next thing is going to be stegosaurus. It's about 45k amber. With the game passes for amber and with territory boost, this will take you about 550 minutes to get to. But say you have no game passes, but you have well-being and territory boost, it would take you about 750 minutes to get to. Once you have Seraco, you'll be getting about 70 amber per minute. This is without any of the boost. But with well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 112 amber per minute. But with the amber game passes and well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 145 amber per minute. Your next thing is going to be Parasaur. It's about 250 amber. You're going to be taking about 3,000 minutes as a Staraco to get to Para. This is without the game passes, but with the well-being and territory boost. But say you have the well-being, territory boost, and the game passes, this will take you about 2,400 amber. 2,400 minutes to get to Para. Once you've gotten to Para, you're going to be getting about 120 amber per minute. This is without any of the boost, but say you have the well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 192 amber per minute. But say you have the game passes, the well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 250 amber per minute. Once you've reached Para, you have gotten into Mastery territory. Masteries are something that takes a lot of time and it's very tedious to do. I wouldn't recommend trying to even do the mastery for decent in one sitting, cause one is just not possible unless you really sacrifice a lot of time to do it in one sitting. But it will be incredibly boring, cause with masteries there is a growth thing about mastery. You have to grow a lot of times, and while you're doing a mastery, you're gonna be resetting and it just isn't a fun thing to do. So I recommend at this stage of the game where you get into the mastery territory, this is where you try to have fun. To get to Descent, for the you'll need two things for the Stego Mastery, which is your next creature in line to get for farming. You will need Descent and Canthosaurus. It would take you about 1,300 minutes to get to Descent. This is with the game passes and with the well-being and territory boost. But say you have no game passes, but you have the well-being and territory boost, this will take you about 1,750 minutes to get to Descent. But with control, for control, it take you about 40 to 50 minutes to get enough amber for control. This is pretty much the same time for with and without game passes. They don't really change a lot. But once you've gotten control and Descent, you will need to start working on the masteries. But as I said, don't try to do the masteries in one sitting. Once you reach mastery territory, try to play the creatures and do the mastery passively. Don't try to sit there and try to do the mastery. No, it is very unfun. It is done. If you do this in one sitting, it's gonna be done faster, obviously, but it's incredibly unfun. Like it is very unfun. It is not satisfying to grow a creature to adult, then have to reset it just for the mastery. No, don't try to do it actively. Try to do it passively. Try to do fights, regrow your Descent, as you do just play the game, you will eventually just finish the mastery. But as I said, Cantrip Mastery, this will take you above 300 minutes to do, more or less depending on how lucky you are with your growth mastery part. But once you've done the mastery, you'd have gotten about 9,000 amber. This is including fossils. I just converted the fossils to amber, because if you didn't know, one fossil just equals 100 amber. But once you've done the Kentra mastery and gotten the rewards, you'd have also gotten some amber from just playing Kentra itself, like the amber per minute. But once you have done the Kentra mastery, you'd have gotten about 27k amber. This is with the well-being and the game passes and the territory boost. But say you have no game passes, you'd have gotten about 21k amber. This is without the game passes, but with the well-being and territory boost. Once you're done with the Kentra mastery, you'd have start to do the Descent mastery. This would take you about 2,500 minutes, more or less, depending on how you really do the mastery. If you do it actively, it'll probably take around that time. But if you do it passively, it'll probably take a lot more longer than that. But once you've done the mastery for Descent, you'd have gotten about 360k amber. But this is alone from the mastery. But the amount you've gotten while just playing Descent from the passive amber per minute, you would have gotten about 500,000 without the game passes, but with the well-being and territory boost. But say you have the game passes for amber gain and all the other boosts, like the well-being and territory boost, you'd have gotten about 650k amber. Once you've done the Descent and Kentra mastery, it would have taken you about 5,400 minutes to get to Descent. To get to Stego, this is including the masteries. This is how long it would take you to get to Stego without the game passes, but with well-being. But say you have the game passes and the well-being, it would have taken you about 4,300 minutes with the game passes, also including the masteries. But once you've gotten enough for Stego, you can stop grinding. Stego is a very good farmer and a very good creature. This is S tier creature. But the amber gain without any boost for Stego is going to be 200 amber per minute. This is without any boost. But with well-being and territory boost, you'll be getting about 320 amber per minute. But with the well-being, territory boost, and the game passes for amber, you'll be getting about 416 amber per minute. Let's get to your next grinder. It's going to be a pato. But for a pato, you will also need to do a very challenging, another time-consuming and challenging mastery. This is the Diplo mastery. It'll taking you about 2,500 minutes to do the mastery. As I said, this may take longer or shorter depending on how you play and how you do the mastery, if it's passively or actively. But once you did the Diplo mastery, you'd gotten about 370k amber from the mastery alone. But from just playing Diplo, you'd have gotten about 540k amber. This is without game passes, but with wellbeing and territory boost. Let's say you have the game passes and the wellbeing and territory boost. You'd have gotten about 700k amber overall from just playing Diplo. This is excluding the mastery. But with the mastery and with the playtime, the amber you gained passively, you'd have probably gotten over 1 million with the game passes and with the wellbeing and territory boost. For your next thing is going to be Apato. This is going to be the end game farmer for months and months to come, because Brachi, which is going to be the next best farmer, that will not be coming from literally months and months and months. But Apato's amber gain without any boost, you'll be getting about 300 amber per minute, but with wellbeing and territory boost, you'll be getting about 480 amber per minute. Let's say you have wellbeing, territory boost, and all the game passes, you could be getting about 624 amber per minute. Once you've gotten to Apato, once you've farmed enough, once you've gotten to Apato, this is really where you can just relax and have fun and play creatures like pachyrhinosaurus, Suchamamas, Decent, Yang, Torvo, Acro, all those creatures. You can just have fun once you've reached Apato. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of the tutorial. If you want, you can do Elder, but no, we're not going to talk about Elder because Elder is very complicated and confusing, and we don't know much about it. But anyways, that is the end of the video. I hope this tutorial was helpful for all the new players that are coming to the game, and I hope you guys watched the entire tutorial, because this tutorial was very in-depth and it took me a lot of time doing the maths because I failed the maths, so this was even harder to do. I hate maths, but anyways, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.